Stinking gas bubbling up from the earth in Pupawaningsi's bathroom, nearly a kilometer away from the mud volcano. Her house is submerging and slowly but surely hot mud is taking over. Many of her neighbors have fled the area, but Pupawaningsi wants to be compensated first before she leaves.
I am afraid, especially at night, that the dike will break and we are flooded by the mud. It's really hard to live like this, but we have no choice, because the government only wants to pay a very small amount.
This dike is her biggest concern. People work around the clock to keep the mud inside. If they fail, the only rail and road connection to East Java will be wiped off the map, leaving hundreds of thousands of people and major companies in isolation. Despite the threat, people continue living in the danger zone.
We will have to evacuate these people eventually, but we'll do this in stages. We do have a plan for them.
It's like an ocean of mud. After nearly 4 years, as far as you can see, all the land is covered by hot, smelly mud. And every minute more is coming out right there. And nobody knows whenever this is going to stop and how many more villages are going to be swallowed in the years to come. The amount of mud pouring out of the earth has decreased slightly since the eruption in 2006, but can still fill around 50 Olympic-sized swimming pools every day. British scientists say new evidence shows that drilling company Lapindo must be held responsible.
The most recent evidence that's come out very recently is to show that, that they pumped heavy mud into the hole, and this actually slowed the rate of eruption down. And the only way that can happen is if the borehole is physically connected to the eruption. And that, for us, nails it. We're beyond all reasonable doubt now that this well caused the Lusi mud volcano eruption in 2006.
Angered by the new findings, victims demand justice. Covered in mud, they vent their frustration at one of Indonesia's most powerful politicians, Abu Rizal Bakri, whose family owns a drilling company. Protesters blame the government for protecting this former minister and current leader of one of Indonesia's largest political parties.
We demand the government put pressure on Bakri. Why is he still being protected?
Environmental groups are considering reopening the case against Lapindo. The company, which was cleared of all responsibility by the Supreme Court in 2009, says it is not impressed by the new findings.
Betul, bahwa drilling report itu pun juga sudah kita berikan kepada court.
We have handed over the drilling report to the court, and their conclusion was that the drilling was according to standard procedures.
Despite their claim of innocence, Lapindo paid up to $600 million to compensate and relocate the victims. They call it corporate responsibility. To Pupawaningsi, it doesn't matter who's to blame, as long as the victims are properly compensated and their safety guaranteed. Until she's forced to leave, there's one advantage though. She doesn't have to pay for cooking gas anymore, since it is freely spewing out of the earth. Step Fasten, Al Jazeera, East Java.